Hello, thank you for joining us today for InfoShare Live hosted by InfoSight Malaysia. I'm your host for this session and also the coordinator, Ivan Tang from InfoSight. I'm very happy to welcome everybody that is currently watching us, as well as a big thank you for your support since our very first live video. Now, this is our first InfoShare Live that has a host, so we'll try to be as efficient as we can. But please do participate and join if you have any questions or suggestions. Now, our goal is to generate more learning opportunities for our viewers and friends through our live segments and future activities. And we would like to hear more if there are any topics that you would like us to present on. Recently, InfoSight Malaysia was appointed as the only Veeam authorized education center in the Asia Pacific, Japan, and China region, which is both a privilege and honor for us. So today's topic will be about the newly launched Accessibility Suite by Veeam and why being certified to manage it is important, which brings me to our speaker for today. Now today we have a very special speaker who you might have guessed from our recent post. Our very own CEO and Technical Director of InfoSight Malaysia, Mr. Yap Chee Yuen. He has been in the ICT industry for almost 2 decades and has contributed his skills and expertise to numerous sectors and projects, and being a key figure in the field of ICT training. Mr. Yap will be joining us via conference call from the broadcasting room of our office. So, without further ado, let's get started, shall we?
Hi, good evening. Welcome to Facebook Live. My name is Yap Chee Yuen. Welcome, and let's look into what the topic that we are going to discuss tonight. So tonight we are going to discuss on Veeam Certification, specifically VMCE. So I'm going to look into some of the VMCE content, include the VMCE preview, as well as the question and answer. So let's start. So let's look into the agenda. First, we are going to look into who is InfoSight. I'll briefly tell you who am I, as well as the company. What is the new VMCE 2020 certification is about. So this is very important. The objective of this VMCE, and I'm going to tell you that why it's important for you to get yourself certified. And what is the prerequisite skill for you to get the VMCE 2020? And how about the exam? Alright, so if you want to go for the training alone, you can, but it would be better for you to go for the training and also attempt the exam. I will tell you the benefit on if you can pass the exam, as well as what are the benefits. And we also have some testimonial from students who took our training. And if end of this live Facebook and you want to know more about it, or you have some other question, or maybe if you want to enroll for it, so I'm going to guide you on how the process on enrolling for the VMCE. So right now we are running some very good promotion. So without further ado, let's start our session tonight. So first, before we start, you would like to know who is InfoSight. InfoSight is a training center. We are specialized in doing IT training. So besides Veeam, we also do other certification. You can check us out. We started this center since 2009, which is already 11 years. So we are the Veeam Authorized Education Center, or in short, we call ourselves as VMAEC. All right. So we have our full-time in-house VMCT, which is Veeam Certified Trainer, and this is a very rigorous exam even for the trainers. So all the trainer needs to go through the exam, and it have to be both the written as well as by the master trainers. So InfoSight has been successfully running many VMCE class since version 9.5, and now we have the version 10. So we also have this VMCE A, stand for Advanced Design and Optimization. All right, so we do have this class, and this class is very exclusive, and normally we run it maybe twice in a year, maybe. Okay, so if you want to know more about this, please check out our schedule. So this is the main content that I want to discuss tonight. What is VMCE 2020? Now, VMCE certification, if you are familiar with Veeam software, this is the certification to validate your knowledge and skill to perform tasks with a Veeam solution. Now, for those who are in the infrastructure or in the system, backup and restoration is very important. Regardless whether you are in a physical environment or in a virtual environment, you need to have a solid backup and a restoration strategy. And very common, you were able to see that the solution that the enterprise use is Veeam. Of course, that Veeam is not the only software company that can provide the backup solution, but based on the Gartner report, Veeam already been in the Gartner top continuously for the past 3 or 4 years. All right, and their core product is called Veeam Availability Suite. So if you attend the Veeam 2020 certification and you pass it, it confirms that you hold the necessary level of technical expertise to correctly implement, configure, and manage Veeam Availability Suite. Now, as I mentioned, that the current version is version 10, and the VMCE now, we call it as a VMCE 2020. This training is a 3-day full training. We run it as in instructor-led training or online training. Now, due to the pandemic and in Malaysia are still in the MCO, so we also have another option on online trainings. Right. So let's look into the main objective of this VMCE. As you can see from here, there are so many objectives. Within these 3 days that you are going to learn, it's a very solid 3 days. All right. So that include describe the Veeam Availability Suite component, usage scenario, and relevant to the environment. Effectively manage data availability on-site, off-site, cloud, and hybrid environment. Now, we cannot run away from the cloud. So when you want to back up, not only that you can back up the physical, the virtual, but you also want to back up the cloud, as well as the software as a service, such as Office 365. Then the VMC also will make sure that you understand what is the RTO and the RPO, which is important if let's say you are doing a backup and a restoration. Of course, that you need to know how to operate the software, adapt with organization, evolving technical, business, and regulatory need. This is on the compliance. All right, so ensure the recovery. So Veeam have a very powerful restoration, as well as very powerful for you to make sure that whatever you back up, and if you back up properly, is 100% that you can restore it. Okay, so there's a lot of new features in the version 10. I believe that some of you who are a partner for Veeam, I believe that recently you also attended the breakfast preview by Veeam. Okay, which I myself also attend. Excellent information that you can get from there. You can see that Veeam version 10 have a lot of new features. So the objective is also to provide you some visibility of business data asset and produce effective report and dashboard to monitor the performance and risk, which is the Veeam 1, which is excellent for you to do the reporting. Conduct basic troubleshooting, analysis of your Veeam Availability Suite environment, and during the class we provide you a lot of labs. This is part of the syllabus on the VMCE. Now, to give you more information, as you can see here, this is the Veeam Availability Suite. The lab is 50%, the theory is 50%, so it's about half-half. So we are not just purely just on lecture, but they also have hands-on lab. All right, so these are the prerequisites. Now, just now that I mentioned, these are the objectives. Now, for those of you who are really interested on the VMCE 2020 exam and you want to know more detail, these are the content. So in 3 days, we are going to cover the introduction, the building the backup capability, restore from the backup copy, the replication, which is important, especially if you want to do a replication to the cloud or to the data center, how you can do the failover. All right, advanced repository capability, testing the backup and replication, backup enterprise manager, Veeam, and some of the support that you can get from Veeam. Now, these are all the topics that you are going to learn in these 3 days, very solid 3 days. Right. What are the reasons for you to get the VMCE certified then? Now, many of the time, many people say that since Veeam is so simple, then why should I actually attend VMCE? Well, Veeam is really simple to use, but for you to get the full use of the Veeam, you need to go through a proper training so that you can get more functionality out from the Veeam, especially with the Veeam V10. We have a lot of new features. There's about more than 150 new features in V10. You have access to exclusive benefit. Now, this is depend on if you have passed your exam, you were given a special number. When you call for support and you say that you are VMCE, there will be a no queue for you. So you will basically be put into the priority. Okay, so you have a direct access to the support when there is a critical down on-site issue. Now, of course, that if you pass your exam, you will eligible to use the VMCE logo. So this is the VMCE logo that will be issued to you, and you gain the professional advantage with the higher level of Veeam technical certification. Now, assuming that you already have your VMCE and you also want to go for the VMCE Advanced Design and Optimization, then you also will get another certification called VMCA. Now, if let's say you are the partners or you are not yet joining to any partners, once you get your certification, and your VMCE will be very important for Veeam partners, because for Veeam partner, as a silver, you do not need to have VMCE, but if you want to promote yourself as a gold partner, then you need to have at least one VMCE certification holding by the company. And if you want to go for the platinum, then you need to have 2 VMCE and 1 VMCE ADO. Now, this is very important because as a gold and platinum, you will have support by Veeam Malaysia, as well as you have a very good benefit. And even if you are the platinum, if you are platinum, then they will assign you a dedicated engineer. All right, so the support from Veeam Malaysia is excellent. So that's another reason why you want to get yourself in VMCE. Have I mentioned that if you have the gold and the platinum, the discount that you are going to get is also higher, which basically means that more profit for your company. So I believe that that is a lot of reason why you want to get yourself for the VMCE. So next is what is a prerequisite? So okay, now Yap, tell me, if let's say I'm in the backup already and my company is using the Veeam, and I really eager want to learn about this VMCE. So what's the prerequisite? Well, the prerequisite is not very high. So preferable if let's say you already have some working experience, server, storage, network, and virtualization. And Veeam currently they support Hyper-V, VMware, and Nutanix. Okay, and preferable that you have a good TCP/IP networking. This is important if let's say you do have some virtualization experience for both VMware or the Hyper-V. So anything from version 6.7 to the latest version 7 as of the live here for the VMware vSphere, as well as the Hyper-V. So these are the prerequisites. Now, the important here is now you already went through a training and you want to take the exam. Now, the exam, you have to book through the Pearson VUE. Now, this is one question that I always receive. If let's say I do self-learning, can I just enroll for the Pearson VUE exam? The answer is unfortunately no. You have to go through the training, okay, authorized training. And once your name already been registered and you attend all the 3-day training, then they will give you a link for you to register. All right, this is to ensure that the quality of the student guaranteed. Now, for you to pass your exam, All right, you need to have a minimum score of 70% or 100. Now, please remember that 70% is not easy to pass. Of course, that will it be possible? Yes. Is it easy? No. Okay, so I have to be very frank with you. You really need to learn, practice, and if let's say you are familiar with the Veeam software already, then it should not be too difficult. But if let's say you are not familiar with it and you want to learn from scratch, will it be possible? Of course, we have students who absolutely have no background on the VMCE or the Veeam backup and replication, and they come for the training, they can pass it. So the more important is that your dedication. So the exam time is about 90 minutes. Well, because that we are actually in Malaysia and English is not our first language, so they give us 30 minutes extra. All right, so if let's say you are in US and English is your main language, then you only have 1 hour. But I can assure you that you do have sufficient time for you to take your exam. No worry on that. The number of questions that we have is 50 questions. It's a multiple choice. Right, so 50 questions, 90 minutes, well, you have more than sufficient time. Now, the cost for this VMCE is 144. Of course, that depend on where you are. If you are in the first world country, the cost unfortunately will be higher. And because Malaysia is a developing country, so we have a certain discount. So 144 US dollar as of now. For the Malaysian who taking the exam, or if you are the foreigner who are actually in Malaysia, you also will get this benefit. Now the next is you would like to say that, hey, how's the format of this VMCE exam? Can I actually have a feel of how does it look like? You know, what are the level of difficulty? Well, here is the URL for you to do a testing. Of course, that this is only for those that are partners. So if you are the partners, please take advantage of this. So it's https propartner.veeam.com/exam/VMCE. Right, so for those of the students who already attend, they generally tell us that, hey, more than 70% of VMCE class participants said VMCE course improve their day-to-day operation with Veeam software. Now that is a very high percentage. So assuming that you already know about the Veeam, but I can assure you that Veeam has so many features. Some of the features you may not think about it, but in the VMCE class, you are going to pick up a lot of new features. Consistently, I hear all this from our students. And more than 80% of VMCE class participants say that VMCE certification already helped or will help them to find a new Veeam business opportunity. It's true, especially you are the partners. And if you have this VMCE, of course that you can actually offer your solution as well as you can do some troubleshooting for your prospect. Right, so we are coming to the end of this live. Basically, you would like to say that, hey, I would like to know more about it. So how am I going to contact you? So please visit our website, infosite.com/category/Veeam, and you can actually go for the general inquiry, drop our friendly personnel, sales at Infosite, or you can drop an email to Miss Jetty that is on the screen now, or Miss Hammer. Right, so if you want to know more, go into our Facebook. Of course, that now you already watched the live, you already know where's the Facebook, Infosite Malaysia. We also have Instagram as well as the LinkedIn. Now, I also want to show you some of these here, that the additional information. So once you actually attend, you go into the veeam.com VMCE, you will have your ID, and as I mentioned that you will have given the number, but of course that this is just my ID, that is not the number that I show you. The number is actually at the bottom there. All right, so this is where you can actually have a different level. So we have registered silver, Register and Silver do not necessarily need to have a VMCE, but once you need to have a Gold, you need to have one VMCE. As well, if you want to go for the Platinum, you would need to have one VMCE ADO and two VMCE. Just now that I mentioned about the benefit, if you are the Pro Partner, you can see all this benefit here. All right, please go in and check out your Pro Partner. And this is the exam URL that I mentioned early on. If you are the Pro Partner, please go in and test it. Of course, that is mentioned here is that this test does not contain real VMCE exam question, but the environment that's set here is actually very similar and the difficulty is very similar to what you get. All right, so let's open for the question and answer.
Thank you, Mr. Yap, for that informative session. I'm sure most of us have quite a few questions at the moment, which hopefully you can answer in the upcoming Q&A. Now, if you have any questions you want to ask our trainers or Mr. Yap or any of our staff members, please feel free to comment down below on the comment box or just send us a message or an email. We'll definitely answer you as soon as we can.
All right, so the question is, do Veeam certification expire? That's a very good question. So the Veeam certification itself doesn't expire because we have different version of Veeam. So we have Veeam version 8, version 9, now it's version 10. But in the Pro Partner requirement, they require you to update your certification to meet the Pro Partner program requirement. So it's better for you to check with your partner manager. If let's say you are in Malaysia, please contact Sui Pei. I believe that she can actually help you on that. Right, so what's the next question? Okay, so there are 3 ways that you can meet the prerequisite for you to sit for the VMCE 2020 exam. Basically, there are 3 ways. First is to attend the prerequisite training. So that is one way for you to get the exam that I already mentioned just now. Secondly, if let's say previously you already attend the previous version such as version 9, update 4, of course that you can proceed to upgrade that. Or from the previous exam that you already have attended within the last year, again, you're also eligible to take the exam. All right. Oh, okay. So if you change your employer, so what will happen? Okay, that's another good question. We always receive this. Now, because when you take your VMCE, you have to register with your, or in this case, you need to associate with your Pro Partner. So what if, let's say, halfway through, you resign and join another company that also Veeam partner? Well, no issue. In your new company, you just register the email and then call to the Veeam and they can merge it for you. So you do not need to retake your exam. Okay, so you want to update your certification. Right, now this is a bit long. Okay, so the answer is that there are multiple ways for you to do that. Okay, let me break it down. So if you have the version 9, so assuming that you already attend your version 9, so if you go to the veeam.com/VMCE, then they will tell you that you are allowed to take your certification. So go ahead. So those that already attend the version 9, you should be able to see the link. If the link is not there, that means that this upgrade path is not available for you. Same if let's say you have attended the VMCE for the past 12 months and you want to retake the exam, again, it's the same thing. You can able to go into the vmc.com/VMCE and click on the link. What you need to do is just to make the booking in the Pearson VUE and pay the relevant exam fees. And assuming that if you want to prepare for your exam, since that you do not need to sit in the class one more time, it will be good if let's say you go through the previous version of the manual that you have just to recap on all the theory that you're a bit rusty. And at the same time, go to the veeam.com. There is a lot of white paper as well as the features on the Veeam 10. Brush up on that. I believe that if you already a Veeam engineer who are using the Veeam maybe on the weekly basis, if it's not daily, then you should not be have any problem since you already hold the previous version of VMCE. All right. Okay. So the next question is, okay, so you have attended the version 9 and can you take the VMCE 2020? Well, as I mentioned that, yes, you can within 12 months. And if you can see that the link under the vmce.com/VMCE, the link is available. So just please register that. Please remember that this one is time sensitive. Don't wait too long or else this option will not be available for you. All right. Okay, so if let's say you are taking the version 9, update 4, yes, the exam is still available and it will be until October 2020, so end of October 2020. So you have another like 4 more months, okay, for you to decide to take your exam. Now, please remember that this exam may be quite challenging, so don't wait until the end of October before you finally take the exam, just in case. Just touch wood. Okay, so Malaysian like to touch wood, just touch wood. If let's say you cannot pass on the first attempt, you still can have some time before you take your second attempt. So if you wait until the 31st of October and then unfortunately if you fail it, then you have to take the new VMCE 2020. Okay. Right. Okay. Very good. So since there is no more question, as I mentioned in the early live just now, right now Veeam is actually running a promotion. So this promotion entitles you for 40% discount. And the good news is that Veeam On is now virtual. You can go to veeam.com, look for Veeam On. This year, it will be on the virtual due to the pandemic. That is a good news. Somehow this news saying that you do not need to pay anything for you to attend the Veeam On, but you do need to register, and you can actually get this 40% discount. And with this discount code, you can register for this VMCE 2020. So I encourage you to check out our website, infosat.com. Inside there, we have some information on how you can actually get this 40% for VMCE. All right. Okay, so since there is no more question, thank you. So I think that the time is about right. So let me end this session. All right. Thanks, Ivan. Thanks, everyone, for attending this live. Okay, I'll see you again. Thank you. Bye.
I would like to take this opportunity to also extend gratitude to our viewers, partners, and audiences who've joined us today. Hopefully, we'll see you very, very soon for our next InfoShare Live. And I'll still be the host. For more information and more updates and any promotions on our courses, as well as our blogs and any of our sharings, you can obviously like and follow our Facebook page and also our website as well. So definitely see you there really soon. Thank you. That's it from Ivan.